Previously on the Kite Show.
There's been a bit of a complication. I think there's a new hot blonde in town, so I think you can take a backseat for this episode. I'm going to take over the presenting, so... Okay, that's enough. Yeah.
Well, I finally made it out to Cabarete and I'm about to be picked up by Susi Mai. Do you know who that is, right? Because if you don't, here's a brief background on kite surfing's original beach babe. Hey Susi!
Hi, welcome!
Shall I get in? You want to show me your first spot?
I'll show you my surf spot. Right, so these are like sort of the main breaks down here. This is called the Bobo's Point, and there's a place down there called Cocoa Pipe. And this is the right, and over on the far side is the left. There aren't that many waves today, but it's still fun for longboarding. Like, this place is cool because there's always something. And then in the afternoons when it gets windy, you can come down here doing a downwinder, either from Kite Beach or Cabarete or even as far as La Boca. And it's nice because it's flat and there's a really good freestyle kicker spot. And then there's a good low sand spit at the end where you can land. So cool. Right, so this is Kite Beach. This is usually where I come to have lunch after surfing or a late breakfast. And just behind me is Agualina. That's the Cabrina Center where I kite out of. And yeah, now I'm going to show you town.
Awesome, let's go.
Right, so basically this is Cabarete, the main street. It's about 2 miles long and that's the town. And it's one road, it has everything on it. It has all the surf shops, ice cream, bars, you know, little restaurants and things. And just down here is the beach.
Oh, where do you hang out?
That's where I hang out, so I'll show you.
Brilliant.
Let's go. Right, so now we're on the actual main beach of Cabarete. It stretches all the way around the point till about Kite Beach. And just behind me is Lax, which is one of the main bars where I usually hang out. And this is cool because there's all sorts of different bars and restaurants right here on the beach. And it starts in the morning and ends, you know, whenever.
And what time do you go home?
I'm not gonna say that. That's a secret.
Okay, that's fair enough.
But I'll show you where I live now, shall I?
Perfect.
Right, so this is my house. Cool. So my parents have like apartment rentals. And that's them. It's nice because we're right in the middle of town, but it's still just, it's like a little oasis tucked up in the back, you know?
Yeah, it's very calm, very quiet.
So this is my dad's board shop. He's actually a kiteboard shaper, and this is where he kind of works. Now he makes these handmade, like just custom kiteboards made of wood, and they're quite cool. They're quite unique. Don't really see many of these around.
So that's an authentic Mai board.
Yeah. They're called kiteboards Cabarete. These are my pet turtles.
Do they have names?
Yeah, the big one's called Shrimp Gone.
Shrimp what?
Shrimp Gone. Because I had a shrimp in here and then it was gone and I blamed the turtle for it. Okay, so the last place I'm going to take you is up at La Boca, which is my local flat water kite spot.
Okay.
It's where there's just a river going into the ocean. There's a little bar where you can eat yummy fish. And
nice.
It's where I kite every day. So let's go
check
great.
it. Let's go.
So this is La Boca, which means the river mouth, and it's very obvious because there is a river and it kind of flows out into the ocean, which you can see in the very end. And this is like my flat water kite spot. This is where pretty much every single afternoon when it's windy, I come down here. This is also where we did a little like rail and kicker project last year. In the spring, had Aaron out here, and it was really fun. And it's a good because the water comes all the way up to here at high tide. So at low tide, you can just build whatever you want, kind of drop it in, and then you can, as you see, my kicker is just there still.
Did you make that yourself?
We did build that ourselves last year, but the weather's kind of messed it up a little bit. But it's cool because you very rarely get places where you can just leave obstacles in the water and no one, you know, will bother to, you know, ask you for permits or whatever. So it's pretty cool. So there's just all this really nice flat water. Usually we do tricks coming in, and then you can do tricks right by the shore and it'll just, you know, even if your kite crashes, there's a little bit of, it's not a beginner spot. Like if your kite crashes and you're not very good at relaunching it, you're gonna end up in the trees down there.
And it gets busy, I guess.
It doesn't, you know, because people don't really, people here are so lazy. They barely, it's a 10-minute drive from town, and you kind of go along this little dirt road, and people actually don't ever come here. It's crazy. Like, even though everybody knows it's here, people barely ever make the effort.
Well, cheers to that.
Cheers. Woo! So basically, after you've eaten and had lots of pina coladas, not too many, you can kite from the river out into the ocean, and then go downwind all the way along the coast, and pretty much end up at Encuentro again.
And start all over again.
Back to the start.
Woo!
Hi, I'm Susi Mai. We're here in my hometown Cabarete in the Dominican Republic, and you're watching The Kite Show.
Okay, Susie, thanks for showing me around.
No
Cabarete is obviously an awesome place, especially hanging here by your pool. How much time do you actually spend here then?
When I'm traveling full on for work, it's crazy because I'm actually away so much more than I am at home. I'm here maybe 2 months sometimes in the whole year, and this is all split up, so I'll be here for a week and then away again for 2 months and then come back for a week. Just enough time to, you know, wash my clothes, put it back in my suitcase. Now, what really motivates me is to go to places I've never been to. So I'm getting to see so much more of the world than back when I was just kind of doing the piquerie in Europe and a few spots and, you know.
Yeah. So you started way back when Flash Austin was on the tour, then you know, through Mark Shin, Martin Vari, that kind of time, then now the Aaron Hadlow sort of era. What, you know, those are all guys that people will remember, but what about the girls? Who do you think was or is the sort of strongest female competitor and the most talented?
Well, I mean, like you say, because I started so long ago, I'm still so in awe of Cindy Mosey, because she just went for it. She was crazy hardcore back then.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure if she hadn't quit, she would still be winning everything.
What kind of thing is it about her? What kind of trick
or know.
style?
She was a gymnast, so I think that was one of the main reasons why she was obviously also very good at the whole kiting straight away. And then, I mean, after that, obviously Gisela Pulido and Bruna, they're the two girls I really look up to. Gisela is just machine-like. She never, you know, she doesn't fail. And then Bruna is just, she's making it look amazing. She's making it look easy and making it look like as smooth as the guys.
And you end up riding more with blokes or with the guys than with the girls sometimes. How come?
Because I've just always been involved in, you know, riding with boys. It kind of just, that's my circle of friends, and that's kind of who I'm rolling with.
And I guess that really helps to push you as well.
It does.
'Cause you're,
well, in a way, it's very discouraging because they're so good all the time. So sometimes you're just like, man. Like, and then you get to ride with another girl and you're like, oh my god, it's not me being a complete retard, it's actually that we're not guys and we're not super duper strong, right? But it's you know, I would love to see more girls, and I would love to ride with girls all the time. If I had a choice, that's what I would do.
So, like, of all the riders, who's the most inspirational rider, and what is it about them that makes them special?
I guess the biggest influence on me has been Dre, just because he's a teammate and we've always been hanging out since day one. And he's actually, I reckon he's the main sort of person that's really walked me through this whole kiteboarding thing. He got me sponsored by Cabrina, or introduced me to Cabrina, and he's just always been like my mentor, and he's always given me good advice, and obviously he's one of the best out there. You know, ever since he's been around, he's been trying to push the rails and the, you know, core wake style, so I've been trying to follow along with that, and it's fun. I mean, it's one of those things that you're just like, man, how are these guys that good? Why am I not? Another rider that has always influenced me a lot throughout the years, whom I've also met very early on in the game, is Aaron, and he's, I mean, it goes without saying, 5-time world champion, he's unbelievable kiteboarder, but there's just energy about him when you're riding with him. He's very sort of, he's motivating, you know, it's almost like he makes it social, like you're kiting together rather than everyone go off and kite and do their own thing. And he's, you know, he's always taken time out of his day to sit down and explain stuff, and you know, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, I'm going to do this trick and make sure Aaron sees it. And so if I land it in front of him, it's going to be amazing. So it's one of those, he's very, like, good energy, I think.
You're injured.
Yep.
What's the problem and what's the outlook?
Basically, I tore my ACL and my meniscus and
Ouch.
shattered a few of my bones, my patella and my tibia head. I was at the CWC in the Philippines at the Wind or No Wind event and came off a kicker, and I was wakeboarding, not kiting, so you know, it's one of those things, you really, you know how to do something on a kite, doesn't mean you can do it on a wakeboard, and I learned that the hard way. So I had surgery in December, and now I've just been doing rehab. I'm not allowed on the water until September, I think.
But you're paddleboarding.
But I can paddleboard.
Which
is amazing, because I think I would have died by now if I had been off the water. You know, it's
I can imagine that.
Crazy.
When you get back in the water, what's the trick that you're what kind of stuff are you really looking forward to?
Well, first of all, just launching a kite. I haven't launched a kite in 6 months now, and there's another 3 to go. So I think I'm gonna really enjoy. I dream of it at night, of like just launching and just watching it fly. It's really odd because when you get to kite as much as we do, usually you don't really care if you have a couple, you know, weeks off where there's no wind or whatever. And it's going to be a slow process. I'm not going to obviously be able to go straight in and do all the tricks again, but I think the main thing I'm looking forward to is just getting out, riding beyond the reef and jumping off a wave and just flying through the air and being like, okay, this is good. I can land this. My knee's okay.
Yeah,
I
just
think that's the
enjoying
moment that I'm looking forward to most.
Susie, a lot of what you do as a lifestyle rider involves getting good images. Who is the best photographer you've worked with and why?
Ooh, this is a good one. I actually don't, I don't know, I can't really say. My favorite person to shoot with is Tracy Craft.
Yeah.
Big reason being that she's amazing, but also it's amazingly easy to work with a girl.
Okay.
Because she's a chick and she knows, and she's never gonna publish a photo that makes you look funny, you know, or when you're kiting sometimes there's stuff going, you know, or you lost your bikini maybe, you know. When you're shooting with guys, they're not always that sensible about that sort of stuff. So Tracy is definitely my favorite person to shoot with. And other than that, I've worked with pretty much everyone, I guess, in the industry. I really enjoy shooting with Christian Black. He's always good fun.
From Brighton.
Yeah. And I also like JB, John Bilderback. He's a really, really, really good photographer, I think. But you know, at the end of the day, whoever's taking pictures, you know, that's who I'm shooting with.
And you're pretty relaxed behind the camera now.
I'm cool with.
10 years you've been doing kite surfing career already, which is amazing. What do you think the next 10 years hold in store for Susi Mai?
Well, I don't know. It's pretty hard to say what's happening, you know, in the sport. Everything's changing so quickly, and in my life as well, you know. So, I mean, I didn't, you know, grow up thinking, oh, I'm going to be a pro kiteboarder, and then this is exactly how, you know, there's no handbook, if you will. There's no way of knowing what's going to happen next. So I think it's all about taking opportunities and kind of rolling with it. So honestly, I have no idea where I'm going to be in 10 years.
Well, let's hope it's somewhere really good. Thank you very much, Susie. That's been awesome.
No worries. It's definitely going to be somewhere warm and nice and sunny. Hopefully with no more injuries.